Hey everybody, John Clayton here. I'm really excited and honored to be spending this time with you, and I'm personally thrilled that you guys have embraced this music in such a big way and are as serious about it as you are, and that makes me feel really good, so thank you for that. So I'll do my best to, give you some ideas and some thoughts, views, opinions on the questions that you have submitted. Let's see. This is from Keller Rimington. It says, I'm a junior at the Las Vegas Academy and I play trumpet. My question is, while you're soloing, why do you play what you play? I'm asking this as opposed to what do you play or what do you think about it? What do you think about? I'm asking, why do you play what you play? And why do you think about what you think about? Woo! That's a good heavy question to start with. Okay. Why do you play what you play? Well, first of all, I like most of my friends that are professionals, I try to make sure that I don't analyze and focus on myself when I'm playing with my friends. So I really focus on them. The drummer is going to play an accent or, a rhythm or a fill. The piano player is going to play a certain chord, or, the horn player is going to play a certain line. All of those things then dictate what it is that I play. That's why I play what I play. I play what I play based on what others are giving me. I give them stuff too. I'm not just a receptacle. But what I give them is inspired by what they have given me. And you might argue, well, somebody's got to start it. Sure, somebody's got to start it, and we can all start it. But usually the starting part of it is not a really big deal because there are so many givens. You're given the song, you're given the tempo, you're given the key, you're given the groove, the vibe. All these things are a part of it. So even that is enough to help me then contribute something. Even that helps me play what I play. And that's why I play what I play. I play what I play based on what other people around me, elements around me are giving me. The next question is from Ryan Otsuka, and he's at Los Alamitos High School. Ryan's got a few questions. When you see a new tune for the first time, what steps do you take when you analyze the piece? So what steps do I take? Number one, I use that rule that we professional musicians use, which is if I'm looking at a piece of music, I go left-hand corner, which is the very top of the music, right? Then I go to the end of the music, which is the right-hand corner. I go back to the left-hand corner, and I scan through the whole piece. So left-hand corner, right-hand corner, left-hand corner, scan. Excuse me. When you do that, when you do that, then first of all, it takes like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Left-hand corner tells me the key, the time signature, the playing instructions, the mood, whether it's a swing tune or a bossa or a funk or hip hop or polka, whatever. All that's in the left-hand corner, all that information, right? Then I go to the right-hand corner. How does it end? Does it end with like one short note? Is it a fermata on the end? Is there a retard? And then I go back to the beginning, go back to the left-hand corner. Then I scan through the whole piece. And while I'm scanning, I'm looking for stuff. Okay, let's see. There was a coda at the end. Here's the DS, and I go back to letter B. Okay, I've got a solo at letter F. Okay, great. And you just take all that stuff in, and then boom, takes like 10 seconds, and you're ready to play, you're armed with enough information that you'll feel a lot better than if you just open the music and start playing. So that's, something that a lot of professional musicians, myself, do. Let's see. Can you explain the process of being conversational with the drums? Sure. That's the process. Is basically, don't listen to yourself. Focus on, in this case, the drummer. If you're playing, let's say it's just you and the drummer. Because if it's not just you and the drummer, you're focusing on the drummer and everybody else. Because we're all playing music together. If I'm conversational with the drums, I'm focusing on the drummer. The drummer's going to do something that will then, like I said before, spur something from me. Maybe he's going doo-ga-doo-ga, doo-ga-doo-da-ga, doo-ga-doo-ga, doo-ga-doo-da-ga. Now, when I play a bass line, it's probably going to be doo-ga-doo-da, doo-ga-doo-da-ga, doo-ga-doo, based on what the drummer has just given me. So there's our conversation. Our conversation doesn't have to be us mimicking each other. It could be that he's going doo-ga-doo-da, doo-ga-doo-da-ga, da-ga, da-ga. And now while he's doing that, I might just go bling, 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 blang, ga, 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 da, ga, 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 da, ga, ga, whatever. But it's all based on what the drummer is doing. So if he or she is doing something, I'm focused on them, but I'm also allowing myself to react to what they're doing. That's the conversation. And again, it's not just one-sided, because I then, hearing that, might say, I got an idea. Oh, that's cool. I love what you're doing. Let me add this to it. Next thing you know, that person is kind of linking up, hooking up, syncing up with the stuff that I've contributed, that he or she may have started. So that's kind of how I do that one. One more question. So Ryan's third question is there anyone out there you think should be getting more attention than they actually do? Basically, do you recommend any lesser-known bass players to listen to? Anybody out there that should be getting more attention than they actually do? I think I feel that way about all musicians. I know it's a real general sounding answer, but I really feel that way, honestly, because what are we doing? We're using music to express ourselves with, right? And when you play, I want to hear your expression. I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear what you have to say. But I'm not only partial to you. I'm that way about anybody that has something to say. And that was taught to me by great musicians. Ray Brown, top of the list. He's the one who told me that everybody has something to say. And we need to pay attention to what it is that they are saying. That was a big lesson, not in an analytical way, not in a judgmental way. Just, what do you have to share with me? I'm open. Cool. Maybe I'll connect with it. Maybe less so. Maybe only a little bit. Maybe a whole lot. Maybe not at all. But I want to hear what you have to say. So I'm sorry that, again, I hope that it's not sounding too vague what I'm sharing with you. The other part of that is lesser-known bass players. Lesser-known bass players, like I was saying before, whether you're, quote, well-known. What is that, by the way? How many records do you have to sell? How many plays do you have to have? Whatever, before you go from lesser-known to kind of known to well-known to mega-known. I don't think that that's something we should think about, frankly. Play your music. Play it at a high level. Let everything else just happen the way it's going to happen. Because you're never going to wake up on a Tuesday morning and go, hey, people know me now. That's just not the way we think as artists. It's about expression, sharing that expression. I could mention some bass players. I think that might be what you're getting at. But the bass players I would mention wouldn't especially be bass players that are around playing the music today. They would also include that, but it wouldn't only be that or primarily that. I think about people like Israel Crosby. Maybe you have or haven't heard of Israel Crosby. Or I think about people like Oscar Pettiford. People might know that name, but have they really checked out his music? People like Gary Carr, for a lot of us bass players, that might be a name that we've heard, but we really don't know his music, checking him out. And people like, have you checked out Katie Thoreau? Have you checked out Sean Conley? Have you checked out Joe Sanders, Ben Williams? Maybe they are or not lesser known to you. David Wong. There's so many, but it's really about our expression, what we have to share, what we have to say. That's what it's about. And I think that the way to expand that, not only asking your friends, like you're asking me, but also to then, once you find somebody that really connects with you, do the research on them. Who are the people that influence them? And that's kind of fun. It's not like homework. It's just satisfying a curiosity that we have. So anyway, that's kind of what I think about that. So this one is from Max, who goes to Los Alamitos. He's in Combo A, and he asks, do professional musicians kick others out of their band because of their personality or playing? And how would you, as a professional musician, handle removing someone from a band in a non-disrespectful way? So, do musicians kick others out of their band because of their personality or playing? Sure, obviously, they do. You might be looking for a level of playing that person is not representing. And kicking them out sounds a little severe to me. I don't know if I would word it like that, but because I can just imagine this big foot going, boff, kicked out. But if somebody, if you need to make a change in the band because that person or those people aren't helping the music go where you imagine it should go or you'd like for it to go, then yeah, that does happen. And personality-wise too, if somebody has a personality that's not connecting with you, not hooking up with you and or the other members of the band, then yeah, you might have to ask that person to, let them know that you want to make a change and go in a different direction, or ask somebody else. So how do you do that? It's a case-by-case scenario. You can't have a rule for how you make those kinds of changes, because I think that the general rule is, number one, conversation. It's really important to talk to someone, not tell them, here's what's wrong with you, or it ain't making it. That's number one. The second thing is to do unto others. If you are asked to move on from a band, even if you do or don't want to, how would you like for that discussion to happen if you were the one being asked to leave? And that's how you should do it. However you imagine would feel good to you if somebody had to have that difficult conversation, that's how you embrace that. So kind of a do unto others. But really think case by case, because your relationship is going to be different with different people. And if you have to make a change, you want to consider your relationship with that person. And if it's an important relationship to you, how do you do it without damaging the relationship drastically. That's kind of how I do that. All right, and this one is from Santiago Lopez, also from Los Alamitos. And he asks, how did you stay motivated to become a professional musician when you were younger? Oh, that was easy. My friends, they talk about a village and a community and stuff like that. Totally my friends. They were having fun, and I was having fun with them. And I didn't want the fun to stop. Why would I want, even now, it doesn't change. I'm, quite a bit older now, but I still have so much fun. It's crazy. So the motivation came from my community, my music brothers and sisters. They were into it. I was into it. And there were people sometimes that were less into it. And then it just felt natural for me to move away from them and find the people that were really into it like I was. And sometimes that person might be in a different state or a different city or whatever. So I'd connect with them every chance I had. So that really is, rather than, I think we're all motivated. We're all self-motivated. That's great. But we want the next tier. And that doesn't have to solitarily come from us. In fact, we need for it to come from people that we're making music with. So the motivation was never a problem. Also, all of the professional musicians that I saw, that I was hanging around, they were having so much fun. I mean, they were a lot older than I was, but God, they were just playing serious music, whatever, serious tempos, serious songs, but they were having fun the whole time. And I just thought, that's what I want to do. I want to be like them. So yeah, that's where the motivation came from. So what first got me interested in music? I heard music growing up in my house because my mother played piano and organ and conducted the church choirs. So it was always around. And then we listened on the radio. We didn't listen to jazz. We grew up with Motown, R&B, and that's what we listened to on the radio. But when I was in junior high school, 13, 14 years old, whatever, then the high school that I was going to go to, Venice High School in Los Angeles, the high school that I was going to go to came to my junior high school, and they had the jazz band play a concert. That's the first time I heard jazz, and it blew my head off. I thought, when I get to high school, I hope I can get in that band. And I got in that band, and after that, there was no turning back. It was amazing music. The band director was so inspiring. He loved the music so much that it was infectious, and I also fell in love with it. And also I had a family member, an uncle, who was a jazz fan, and in a big way. He had a great record collection. And for a while, me, my brothers and sisters, and myself and my mom lived with him and my grandmother while we were like getting a house ready to move into. So for those months, I got turned on to all these amazing people: John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Wes Montgomery, Oscar Brown Jr., just a long list of jazz people. So that's really kind of how I first got interested in jazz. I guess if I had to mention one person that influenced me most in my musical journey, it would be Ray Brown. I think most of you that know me know about the relationship that I had with Ray Brown. But just like you, I'm no different. It's never just one person. It might primarily be one person or largely be one person, but it's not just one person. And I'm no different. Ray Brown was at the top of the heap for me because he introduced me to so much music and helped me so much. But he also introduced me to a lot of great musicians. So I remember my first professional gig was filling in for Ray Brown for an afternoon gig that he couldn't do. I was a teenager, And I was so scared. I was so frightened. But there I was on the stage with Herb Ellis on guitar, Bud Shank on alto saxophone, Jake Hanna on drums, and can't remember the piano player. Might have been Lou Levy or somebody like that. But so they were all West Coast musicians. And I just remember me being scared to death playing the bass, and Herb Ellis, who was playing his guitar, would play, and then he would kind of look up at me and just nod and smile, you know, like, and that meant so much to me. That I never will forget that. So all of those guys and other people that Ray Brown would introduce me to, whether it was Oscar Peterson or Harry Sweets Edison or Clark Terry or, you know, just so many people, Louis Bellson, Cat Anderson, on and on and on. They were all so supportive and also helpful in guiding me. And, you know, I remember Jimmy Rolls, a great piano player, he used to call me Blood, which was short for Young Blood. He'd say, hey, Blood, I want you to lean on it a little bit, you know, give me a little push. Because I was laying so back in the groove that, you know, he wanted to give me that tip. So things like that. There were just always people helping me. But at the top of the list would be Ray Brown. But there's a long list of other people that really helped me. So why did I pick jazz as my musical genre, my primary focus? Billy Higgins, a great drummer, used to say, you don't pick the instrument picks you. And I totally exemplify that. I mean, I really believe, now I know for a fact that when I was walking out of the band room in junior high school, having signed up to play tuba, that as I was walking out the band room and saw 4 gorgeous brown things standing in the corner, I went, ooh, can I play that instead? And I always like to say that the band director crossed off tuba and wrote down my destiny. I didn't even know what the bass sounded like. But I was drawn to it. It chose me. And I feel the same way about jazz. I was still in love with a lot of different other kinds of styles of music. But jazz chose me. It just looked at me and pointed at me and said, come over here. And I've been hooked ever since. Once I found out what it was about and got more into it, so I really feel like I didn't choose jazz. Jazz chose me.